Hey, what's going on, guys? This is your boy Red London with 2Ds, aka King Hollywood. It's been a while, I've been away, but I'm back for a new video, and today we are going to talk about sleep paralysis, or the old hag slash the witch riding your back. Now, I've been suffering from sleep paralysis for the past several years, I don't know, over 10 years. It started the first few episodes that I can recall and remember. The earliest I was maybe like 11 or 12, and then later on I was about maybe 16 or 17 when it happened, that I could remember the real traumatic, events that were very rememberable. And of course they, progressed each time that it would happen. It seems as though it got more realistic and it got more scarier. It got, worse, very, very worse. The first time I can remember when it happened, I was about 11 years old. And I was in my room at the time, staying with my mother and my sister, at our apartment. And at the time, growing up, my mother, she was separated from my father, and she had a boyfriend at the time who is my younger sister. Well, actually my two younger sisters. One of them wasn't born at the time, but my two younger sisters, their father. And they had a very, hostile and, volatile relationship, and they used to, argue and, fight, very spontaneously. And me being a child, it would, scare me and send me running, because I hear my mom hollering, or, it's a fuss, like a fight is going on, a tussle or whatever, and it would scare me and I would go running. So this particular time, the first time that I can remember it happening, I was laying in bed, and I thought that I was awoke, or maybe I was waking up from, a deep sleep or whatever like that. But I recall my mother yelling and hollering as if they were, in an altercation. So of course, I usually run to her defense. So I'm attempting to run to, my mother's defense, and for some bizarre reason, I can't move. Only thing I can do is I can hear, and I can open and blink my eyes, that's it. And my body is like doused in chill bumps right now. Like, I'm not sure if you guys can pick that up, but my body just recalling this experience and reliving it pretty much. So I'm hearing, my mom, holler out, and I'm hearing this, altercation that I believe in my head to be going on. And I'm trying to pretty much, I had a bunk bed at the time, and I was sleeping on the bottom bunk. And I'm trying to, get myself to wake up and drag myself. Eventually, I did wake up. I eventually managed to drag myself off the bed. And once I hit the floor, I pretty much woke up to silence. It's a very weird situation. I remember my room light being on, and I remember the living room where, the noise was coming from was completely dark. I'm not sure where my sister or my mother was at the time. Like, this was, years ago. I was 11 years old, I'm 25 now. I'm not sure where they were, but long story short, nothing was going on. I woke up to, I didn't necessarily, know what it was, or that it was, an actual name and disorder associated with the event called sleep paralysis, or the witch riding your back. I used to ask, maybe a couple friends or family members, questions, and I ran into a few people that also experienced the same thing. So years later, to my second, experience, when I was about 16, 17 years old, we're living in a completely, totally different apartment, different part of town, still the same town, but, different. In this particular time, we had just moved into the apartment, so I didn't really have furniture for my room. So I was sleeping on the floor, and the same thing happened. I woke up, hearing this bzzz, this buzzing noise. And once again, I'm unable to move. Only thing I can do is look around my dark room. And with the buzzing noise, this never, happened before. The buzzing noise, or me hearing children's laughter. They say this is a dream. I don't know why it happened. It was fucking creepy as hell, if you can imagine. Just imagine, the horror movies, and you got the kids at the playground, and they're playing Ring Around the Rosie, and it's moving in slow motion, and you hear the laughs and the giggles. That's pretty much what I was hearing at that moment. Scared the freaking living daylights out of me. Like, it scared the shit out of me. Real talk. And I'm trying to, wake myself up. Eventually, I did wake up to an empty, dark room, not knowing what the H happened to me. Last time that I could remember that it happened to me, which was the worst time. And I'm going to tell you guys the theory of what the scientists say. You know, your body is in a state of, you know, being woke and being asleep. That's why, you know, your brain is alive, but your brain releases chemicals when you're asleep to prevent your body from moving while you're asleep, you know, and acting out your dreams. So they say that's what happens, you know, the chemicals in your body, you can't move. Very fucking scary. So let me tell you guys about the second to last time that it happened, which was very, very traumatic, and it sent me over the edge. And I still remember this shit like it was yesterday, and it was about maybe a year and a half ago today. So years later, I'm about maybe 24 years old. I'm in my own apartment, and I'm laying in bed. I love, when I go to sleep, I need to go to sleep in complete darkness. I don't like any lights on. It's just a comfort factor. So I'm asleep this particular night, or you know what, I remember like it was yesterday. I was not asleep. What happened was, I was just going through I was just having a hard fucking time in life, you know, real stressful. Maybe, you know, finances wasn't right, going through jobs, situation with friends, lovers, like all of this shit. Like I was just at a really stressed out place. So I was in the bed, and I was crying. I wasn't like on my knees praying, but I'm like in the bed, you know, I got my hands like this. I'm praying, I'm crying, I'm feeling it, I'm upset, I'm asking God to just please help me. God, please help me. And in the midst of that, I believe I drifted off into sleep at that same moment. Like it feels like maybe 3 minutes later, I drifted off into a sleep. And I'm gonna explain to you guys what happened next. I tried to move my body once again. It's paralyzed, I can't move. The only thing that I can move is, you know, my eyes, and I can still see and I can hear. So when I look around my room this particular time, in this instinct, I see several dark figures and several different shadows. Just, here's the goosebumps again, guys. I see several dark figures and several different shadows all over my fucking bed. And you can imagine these goosebumps, I remember the feeling, my whole body was like covered in goosebumps, and like it just made the hairs on my body just stand the fuck up. And I'm just thinking like, oh shit, like what the fuck is going on? And I'm trying to move, but I'm still trying like to not fucking panic because I don't know what's going on. And I see these dark fucking spirits, entities, shadow people, as you know, the scientists would say, that comes along with sleep paralysis, all around my fucking room. My body's, you know, the hair standing up around me. I see the fucking dark shadows, and I believe that my back was to my door. One of the dark fucking shadows got in the bed with me. I couldn't move my head over to actually see it, but I could feel the tremendous pressure. Oh my goodness, I wish I could record these goosebumps. Like, can you guys see that? Like, just talking about this shit and reliving it. I couldn't look over and see whatever was in bed with me, but there was something obviously in fucking bed with me. And at this time, something that never happened before happened. I was trying to fight it a little bit because it was just weird as hell. And I'm just like, no, like I gotta fucking wake up. Like I gotta get away from this shit. But at the same time, it wasn't easy to necessarily wake up. And I pretty much said, I gave up. And I said, you know what, forget it. You know, God, take me. Pretty much like that was my mindset. So at that very moment, I started to rise out of my bed. I don't know if I was rising out of my bed or out of my body. I honestly don't know because I couldn't necessarily look down, but I'm rising, I'm rising, I'm rising. And then here's where it gets very scary and tricky. I'm rising now. I'm no longer in my apartment. I'm in like a dark circle, if you will, like a metal dark circle, very dark and grunge and gringy. There's like maybe weeds, you know, going up, like, it reminded me like an old castle. Do you guys remember like the circle parts of like the castle? An old castle, it's made out of stone and maybe a little weeds or something. That's pretty much what I was going through at this point in time. And that was at the moment when I gave up the fight, and I was just like, you know, screw it, God, just let whatever happen happens. So I'm elevating, I'm levitating, or whatever's happening. I'm floating, I'm flying at this point. I'm gliding, I'm whatever it is, I don't know. It's just fucking crazy. But At that moment, when I decided to give up, I no longer was gliding. I pretty much was falling. And I know they say that this is a dream, but here's where it gets very scary and skeptical. I believe that I was falling to the pits of hell. As I was falling, it got more darker, it got more dirtier, it just got very fucking differently. The moment I decided to give up and I start just falling. I don't know what the fuck I'm falling to, I'm falling. And the next thing I remember was a bright white light, and I was about to fall within the bright white light, and I heard a voice that said, "No, not yet." And I kid you guys not, at that very fucking moment, I was able to wake up. I was back in my room. Of course, I didn't see anything or I didn't see anyone at this time. But you can imagine how I felt, and I was just so scared and shooken the fuck up that honestly, I just turned over and went to sleep. I would like to say that I am a Pisces. You know, I don't know if anybody that's watching this is into astrology or, you know, the zodiac symbols and the signs and, you know, the meanings, but I am a Pisces. I was born, you know, February 21st. And the Pisces, we're naturally, you know, spiritual, you know, like psychic, and just all of these things within the spiritual realm or whatever like that. I'm going to give you guys my theory of what happens when you sleep paralysis. They want to say it's a dream, but I'm a person that dreams a lot, and every now and so often I'll remember a dream or I'll remember a part of it. But majority of the time, I cannot remember my dreams. I never remember my dreams, but I recall these sleep paralysis episodes as if they were yesterday. You know, it wasn't a dream. It felt very surreal. It felt very real to me. And I believe for some reason that it wasn't a dream, that I fell into such a deep sleep that I believe that I crossed into a different realm, and I was able to, at that point, I was able to see entities from, you know, different worlds or however you guys, I know it sounds fucking crazy and shit, but like this is honestly what I feel in my heart. I feel like it wasn't, you know, just a dream or sleep paralysis. I felt like it was real. When I went to sleep, me being so spiritual and whatever you want to call it, and I'm a person that I really have good sleep, like deep sleep. Like when I sleep, I'll wake up feeling so refreshed, like I really fall into a deep comatized state, if you will, when I'm asleep. And I believe that somehow, some way, I switched over into a different realm, and I was able to hear things and see things that I wouldn't be able to normally see and hear. And I believe for some reason, whatever reason, and it's very even scary to say this, but I believe that I was falling to the pits of hell. I believe that maybe the shadows, the spirit, they were like demons or something, and they came to like fucking get me or to like recruit me or something like that, and I was falling to hell. And when the voice said no, when I was nearly at the white light, I believe that that was my Savior, you know, Lord Christ, you know, Lord Jesus Christ. I believe that that was my Savior, to the point where another sleep paralysis episode happened last night. It's just too much, like I just need a little tobacco. But I had another, you know, sleep paralysis episode that happened to me last night. And it comes right off of me being on YouTube for hours last night. I was on YouTube for hours looking up fucking everything from unexplained mysteries to fucking travelers from different dimensions, from time travel to fucking creepy haunted places and ghosts or things and people that could be haunted. Like I was just looking up it all, and I came across sleep paralysis. So I'm watching all them videos and accounts, and honestly it scared the fucking shit out of me that they say that this only happens to about 8% of people in the world or some shit like that, which is a very small percentage. And if this is so normal and it's a dream, then why doesn't everybody experience it? That's my question. To the scientists, to all the people that say that it's only a dream, to you guys, why doesn't everybody experience it? and why does it feel so real? And after hours and hours of watching videos, I goes to sleep. And the crazy part is, like I said, my last sleep paralysis episode, it happened about maybe close to maybe a year and a half ago. My last and final one happened several hours ago. It happened last night. I was asleep. I'm not sure, or I was attempting to go to sleep, I believe. I had just turned the computer off, and I got in bed, and I'm laying in bed. At this point, my back wasn't towards the door. My frontal body was facing towards the door, and something just happened to tell me to look at the door. And I kid you guys not, I look at the fucking door, and the door is closed. It's shut at this point, because I don't know, I've just been creeped the fuck out lately, and I sleep in my room door closed. I used to didn't do that, but I just thought it would be so much scarier if I was in a sleep paralysis and I just see something walk past the fucking room or something like that. I don't know, so just to save myself, some sanity or whatever, I sleep with the door closed. So last night I happened to look up at the door, and I see the fucking door opens. And it's completely dark, it's a white door. My room is, white, creamish or whatever. And I see a slit from the darkness on the other side of the door. And the slit gets bigger, which means that the door is opening up wider. The door that I remember opened up about this much, this wide. So it was about a thick line of just complete darkness. And within that moment, I was trying to move. Of course, I couldn't move. I'm in the bed with Bae, and I'm trying to Bae, trying to hit Bae, to have Bae, wake me the fuck up or see, what's happening, what's going on. Long story short, I did wind up closing my eyes or doing something, and I looked back at the door, and the door was shut, and that was my last episode of sleep paralysis. And after seeing the videos and hearing the stories from people like myself who experienced similar situations, there was this one guy who said that, he seen a lady with, rotting, deteriorating, eating flesh, and she had no eyes. And there was another person that said that they felt the person get into the bed with them, but not only did they feel just the energy or the presence of a person, they actually felt the skeletal body and the claws. And another guy said that he was the fucking old hag started to stab him in his chest and in his his midsection, and he woke up the next morning with a burst appendix. So I'm like, what the fuck? That shit just scared the fuck out of me. I'm like, hold up, you guys, you scientists, you motherfuckers said that this shit is a fucking dream. Why did he have a sleep paralysis that he was being stabbed by a dark entity, a demon, a devil, a evil fucking spirit, and he wakes up the next morning and his fucking appendix is burst where he was being stabbed at? That shit just scared the fuck out of me. Seriously, there was times where the one guy had a similar situation like me, where he was levitating or floating to the white light, and then he heard a voice that says, "Not yet, we'll be back for you." Here's the chill bumps again, just remembering this. And I'm just thinking oh my goodness, what do they mean, not yet, it's not time, we'll be back? I had a similar situation, so I'm just thinking in my head, oh shit, maybe that dark time, the second to last time that, I had the sleep paralysis, maybe they're gonna fucking come back to me, and this time maybe I won't wake up. So then I just was wait, I need to video record this shit, just in case if I die in my sleep, or in case something happened. I want people to be able to possibly know what happened to me, or just to hear my story, to know what I've been dealing with. It's very realistic, and it's very scary. I've heard stories about people seeing, the faces, and, like I said, feeling, the bone body. And there was one guy that said something dragged him out of his bed and down the hallway. And I'm just this shit is a fucking haunting, a curse or some shit. It's not a fucking dream anymore. What the fuck? And being that it happened last night, and it hasn't happened in a very long time, it just scared the fuck out of me so much, to the point where I'm now sleeping with this next to my bed. You guys see that? The Holy Bible. I'm sleeping with this next to my bed because I don't know what's gonna happen next. I'm actually scared. I'm thinking that maybe the next time I won't wake up. Maybe the next time I will make it to the white light. Maybe next time something will attack me. You know, maybe next time I'll see an actual face that goes along with a dark figure, and I just won't see just a figure. Maybe next time it'll be 10 times freaking more scarier, you know, it'll just be worse or something like that. I don't know. So it just, you know, led me to just video blog, you know, my accounts. Every time it happens, I'm going to make a video and I'm going to upload it to YouTube, and I'm going to share it with you guys. For anybody that may be watching this video who has experienced similar, you know, situations, or maybe you had a different sleep paralysis, I want to talk to you guys. I want to hear your stories. I want to know, what do you guys think about it? Do you guys believe what the scientists and everybody else says, that it's truly a dream? Or do you guys believe that it's something more serious, it's something more real? Once again, I am Ray London with 2 Ds, aka King Hollywood. This is going to be all for this video. Make sure you guys subscribe, like, share, and comment. Until next time, we have more videos to come. Peace.